Welcome back to another Beaten 42 episode where we're going to make our state of origin predictions. How are you, Beef?
Good, buddy. How are you? Looking forward to Origin this year. So.
Yeah, really good. And I'm a bit optimistic because I know you're not necessarily a Queensland fan, but I think it'll be a good match regardless.
So, yeah, look, I've gone through the teams and I'm pretty sure it'll be 3-0 to New South Wales. But every year I seem to be wrong.
Yeah. Well, and the bookies say the same thing, so you know.
Yeah.
So. All right, mate. Yeah. So look, let's just start off with, I guess, how we think the back five are going to be for both teams. So, what do you think the New South Wales back five is going to be?
Yeah. Okay. So New South Wales, of course, I've gone Teddy as fullback, best in the game. On the wings, I've got Tommy Turbo and the Giraffe, Daniel Tupou. And then in the centres, I've got Mitchell and Jack Whiten. What about yourself?
Mate, look, very, very similar. And look, whilst Teddy is the best in the game, he's out of form right now, but still you'll pick him at fullback. I got Turbo and Nato Carr on the wings, and I got Mitchell and Whiten in the centres. And look, to be honest, you can't go wrong with any of those. But the only question I'll have there is maybe Whiten's a bench player because he can fill into a few other spots. So,
yeah.
But all right then, Beeb, what do you think about the Queensland back five? Who you got there?
Yeah, Maroons. Maroons are a little bit more difficult to predict, I think, right? You know, I've gone Ponga at fullback. On the wings, I've gone Val Holmes and I've gone Kyle Felt. And in the centres, I've gone Gagai and Capewell. What about yourself, mate?
Yeah, look, to be honest, I think a bit thin. And I've gone Ponga at fullback and I've gone Holmes, but I've gone Xavier Coates on the wing just because of his aerial expertise, just like Felt though. So it's like for like, and Gagai and Capewell in the centres.
Right. Pretty similar, right?
Only reason Gagai and Capewell in the centres, who the hell else is going to play there?
Yeah, I know. It's look, you know, Capewell's a pretty decent player, right? Yes. And he was fantastic in last year's series. But, you know, for me, he's a great guy to have coming off the bench, not a great guy to have playing for you in the centres. It just shows the depth of that used to that person's liking. Yeah, so, there is Moses as an option, but how's that going for the Tigers? So
yeah. So on that note, mate, who have you got winning the back five battle?
Well, I'm definitely on the Blues, right? I just think they've just got strike everywhere. And you know, look, I look at Teddy combining with Tommy Turbo, you know, similar to Turbo combining with Jason Saab for Manly, right? So there'll be plenty of tries down that side of the field.
Yeah.
So I'm on the Blues. What about yourself?
Yeah, look, hard to argue. I think the Blues have got better depth there and just better strike power in the back five. Look, I love my Queensland team, but if I've got those back five in New South Wales, I'm far more comfortable that they're going to get the job done.
So the back five that we've got probably gives away what's happening with our 6 and 7, right? So
look, and it does.
Yeah. So how are you going 6 and 7 for New South Wales, mate?
For New South Wales, look, it's hard to go past the Panthers' dominance and to go with Cleary and Luai. I made the preseason comment that Luai's not up to it, and he's just made me look like a joke. So, look, hard to go against those two not being in the 6 and 7.
Yeah, I'm the same, right? They're just too good, right? They just keep producing week in, week out, right? So how can you not give them that opportunity, right? So, What about Queensland, mate? Who you got?
Queensland, I've gone with DCE and Munster. However, the news out of today is that Munster's not fit and he probably won't play in round 1 of the Origin. And I'm going to go massive smoky, and I'm going to go DCE at 6 and Walker at 7.
Right. Well, you know what? If Munster's out, I think I would be going DCE still at 7, Ponga at 6, and Brimson at 1.
Right.
So I don't think Sam Walker's up to it. Sam Walker got absolutely destroyed last weekend, right? You know, he was way out of his depth against the Broncos. And Pangai had a day out, right? You know, he just loved running at that little fella.
Yeah.
And, with Victor Radley off the field for smacking everyone across the chest was, certainly didn't help the young kid. Right? So,
No.
okay, right, that's good.
Hard to argue with that. And the only reason I really think Walker is just because of future. He's 18 years old, and it's like get him into the origin stage because he will be playing in the next year or two. So you might.
Yeah, I can see them taking a squad of 19 or 20, and he'll be one of those kids.
Yeah.
He won't be the 18th man, but he'll be there somewhere, right? So,
correct.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but look, let's be honest. The Roosters have been looking at benching him for a week or two just to save him from his fitness and the rigors of NRL. So realistically,
just like they did with ruining Kyle Flanagan's confidence. Look to do the same thing with Walker, right? He'll be out the too.
Yeah. So, alrighty. So, okay. So we move on to the front row for both teams, and look, let's start with New South Wales. Who have you got there?
So I've got Cook at hooker, and then my front row is Payne Haas and Junior Paulo.
Yep. I can't disagree. I think they're the three certainties for that. My only contentious point with that is Cook's sadly out of form, but who else is going to play hooker?
Yeah, well, Api Coruscant could, and combine with those Penrith boys, right? So
yeah, sure.
But Cookie hasn't done anything wrong in the last few years, right? So he's deserved at least the first shot. He's going to get given the first shot. So loyalty is very important. What about your back row?
So back row for New South Wales, I've got Cam Murray and Frizzell making a return to the Origin arena, and Jakey Turbo to be the back three for New South Wales. So
I've gone Angus Crichton. I'm not sure if he's actually suspended now, right? But
he has been suspended.
Thank you, Angus. Thank you for screwing up my team. So therefore, I've decided to remove Angus Crichton, and I'm going with Isaiah Yeo in the second row, with Cam Murray, and then Jakey T locking the scrum.
Yeah. My only thing is, I don't know if Jake Trbojevic is really up to it. I think there are better locks in the game right now. He was one of the elite, and I'm not sure in the last 12 or 18 months he's still up to it.
Yeah, he's no Jack de Belin, but he's on the representative stage. He's the guy that you want. I think he's a super player. But in saying that, I mean, you could put Yo, you could put Murray, you could put Jakey T there.
Yeah.
And they're all, none of them are going to miss a beat. Right?
No, exactly. And the only reason I say that is just he got a bit lazy. He looked a bit like Tyrone Peachy to me in the Manly Eels game, where he was the one always just pulling back and doing the cheap shots and laying in tackles and giving away the six again. And I don't know, New South Wales can't afford that. If he wants to do that in Origin, he'll get owned.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Rules play out in Origin too, won't it?
Oh, massive.
All right, off to the Maroons.
Okay, so all right, so the front row, I've got Cameron Welsh and my boy Tino and Harry Grant if he's fit to be the front three for Queensland.
Right, interesting. I need to revise my team now that no, Munster's still in, right? So
at this stage, yes.
At this stage, Munster's still in. Okay, so I've gone front row of Jai Arrow and Christian Welsh, and then hooking the scrum, I've got the magnificent captain Ben Hunt. So I'm concerned about Harry Grant's fitness, and I just think Benny Hunt's shown he can do it over 80 minutes. And on an Origin stage, I think he's a good value, super fit guy, good from dummy half. So he's my boy. Yep. What about yourself for the back row?
Well, to be honest, I actually think Hunt is a smoky for that team, but I didn't think you'd be picking him just because the Dragons need every fit player to be playing their round.
True. So, I would much prefer that he's not picked, right? But and there was a reason why I did pick him and picked him not to be on the bench.
Right.
And get to that when we get to the bench.
All right,
Right? So,
we'll move on to that. So, all right, so we'll move on to the back three. And I got my boy Fafita on the edge with Kafusi, who's the mainstay, and the trader Arrow to lock out the three for Queensland.
right. Okay. So the difference between us is I've got Arrow in the front row and Tino a lock.
Right.
And you've got them switched around, right? So, but you know, we're there or thereabouts, right? So, all right, that takes us to the bench, right? So, 17-man game,
It
18
is.
nowadays. But who have you got as your bench for Mighty Maroons?
And look, number 14, I've got my boy AJ Brimson to come off there because he can fill a few roles, and he's been lights out for our team. And then I've got Mo as the prop reserve, Jaden Sewer, and Luai to round out the four on the bench.
Louis.
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 The Raiders, Louis. That dude.
Oh, Demanus Louis. Sorry.
Yeah, Louis.
Sorry, man. Sorry, my bad.
He played Origin last year.
Yeah, interesting, because I thought he's a hack.
Yeah, and agreed. I couldn't find anyone else to fill the 17.
Yeah, it's true. So we're pretty similar.
You found some hacks to fill out the 17.
True. I've had some other hacks. So, you know, I've got AJ as number 14. That's why I went with Benny Hunt at number 9, right? Because, you know, you got to fit Brimson somewhere in there in the squad, and you can't have both.
Yeah.
Right?
And you don't have Grant in the squad at all?
No.
Wow.
Just for game one, right? We're talking game one.
Yeah.
He hasn't played in the last few weeks. I don't even know when he's coming back. You know, I wouldn't take a risk on him. I actually thought more on Mahoney from Para as the hooker, but he's an all-day guy.
Yeah. I had him as a backup if Grant can't play.
Yeah. So Brimson, because I think Brimson can come on, he can fill multiple roles, and I think he can even jump in at dummy half if he needed to while Benny's having the rest.
Yeah.
Right, having a fag. Jaden Sewer, Mo for the Waker, right? Yeah. And then, I struggled for the 17, right? And I ended up going with the powerhouse front rower from the Gold Coast Titans, Jared Wallace.
Nice. Making a recall.
Look, it was between him and Cohen Hess, and I think that they're both equally average. But Wallace has shown a little bit more to me this year than what he certainly has in the last few years. And Cohen Hess has still shown that he has no heart. So
could not agree more. Like, the guy's a unit, and oh man, he should be so far more dominant than he is, and it's just really disappointing. And I know my mum yells at him every week. So Cohen Hess, lift your game, or mum will yell at you again. So.
Yep. You don't want her yelling at you, right?
No.
Okay. What about the Blues? Who's your bench for the Blues?
All right. So the Blues, I've got Cody Walker at 14, so that he can fill in a bunch of roles. Daniel Saifidi, Tavita Pangai Jr. and Clemmer to be the big units. And to be honest, that scares the crap out of me from being a Queensland fan.
Yeah, you know, Clemmer with his crazy eyes, but I'm not sure his play really scares the crap out of me really nowadays, right? So
the way he lifts his knee when he runs into a tackle or attack anyone out.
So my bench slightly different, right? I've got Liam Martin on the bench at 14.
Yeah.
Regan Campbell-Gillard, right, coming off the bench, suspended.
No. I just don't rate him. But yeah, good call.
I mean, Parramatta's been great. I love his mustache, right? So, something you could clean the floor with. And then
you got two
Daniel Saifidi at 16.
Yep.
And then Pappenschnauzer at 17. Right? So I've gone Pap rather than going Walker, right? You know, I don't think Walker's going that good, right? So
Pap's unfit. He won't get picked.
Yeah, maybe they'll rest him, right? But I mean, he didn't even get hit hard by Tyrell Fuimeano.
No,
How the hell he got 5 minutes?
really
Just
harsh.
just
Really
crazy.
harsh the sentence he got when he clocked him right on the chin.
Anyway, right, we can differ in opinions, right? The last thing, I'm backing Paul Green to be the coach of the Maroons, and I'm backing Freddie Fittler to be the coach of New South Wales.
You know what? I didn't think about that as something that we should select, but well, I'm going to go with you. I think that's a call. The only way that'll change will be if the super coach decides that he wants to coach him again and he decides a week out from Origin. They'll probably
Yeah, he'll be busy. So
well,
anyway, so what's your bet? So
look,
so they're the two teams. Who's going to take it out, and what's the score?
I hate to say it, but I do believe the New South Wales team will win it 2-1. And
It's a low scorer.
Yeah, low scorer, and I think that the game in Melbourne will be played in front of an empty crowd.
So are you saying then that New South Wales will win 2-1 because they'll kick a penalty goal, a 2-point field goal, or 2 field goals?
Oh, sorry, I meant as in games. I didn't realise you were asking me whether.
That's okay. I'm just being a cock, right? Just being a cock, right? No, I think you're right. I'm on the Blues 2-1.
Yeah.
Very rare you end up with a sweep, right? Players are too good, and you know what I mean. Motivation's worth a hell of a lot, right? So.
Well, and the other thing is the whole new rule where people are going to get clocked in the head, and someone's going to get 2 weeks in an Origin game. So
I think the risk is, who's actually going to make it to Origin?
Yeah.
Right?
Origin 3.
We might end up. I saw Steve Renouf pick the team that had Fogarty in his 17, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe if DCE goes out and whacks someone on the weekend, and but it's a lottery right now. So now the horseman's taken over. So we'll see what goes on. But New South Wales to win the first game.
And
New South Wales win the first game 18-16.
Dragons have selected Gerard Beale to be in their team, so Carmichael Hunt can't be far away. So
True.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I actually think game 1 where New South Wales might win it 24-6. I think that'll be a bit of a piping
dominant
for the boys. Yep, I really do.
Pipe cleaning, right? Nice.
So anyway, look, when the teams are announced next week, we'll review this and we'll have a bit of a preview. And look, I think we're pretty similar teams, but otherwise, good luck to the Queensland Maroons.
Yeah, good luck. Red V, pardon me.